The next one is from Carlos Hernandez, and the subject is Dark Side of the Ring. This is Carlos. Hey guys, this is Carlos Hernandez, aka Mr. Red. Not really. Thanks for the recent opportunity to chop it up with you guys on WrestleMania Round. WrestleMania Roundtable and several times before.
Yeah.
Konnan, you were super over my household. I think my mom still has a crush on you from when she used to watch Lucha Libre in the 90s. That's disgusting. Disco, my friend says you talk too much, but that's him saying, not me. Well, your friend's more. Joe, well, my question is...
Wait a minute.
Poor
Joe.
My question is, have you guys seen the recent Dark Side of the Ring Brawl for All episode? I found it sad in many ways. I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Also, did any of you know Bart Gunn? I guess it makes two questions. Thanks for the time and stay safe. I want to hear you guys take on this first.
Didn't we talk about that last show?
I think we did, but I want to put it because I still see people trying to talk about this and like who was lying, who was telling the truth. Like, guys, this is all the Brawl for All was. Okay? It was a tough man contest in the middle of the WWE show during their run that a lot of mid-carders that they weren't doing anything with signed up for it, 16 guys, $5,000 a fight, $75,000 of the winner. That is all it was set up as. There was no booking angles that were supposed to come out of it. It was just that was the idea, and that's what happened. Anybody like saying like, you know, and Russo has told me this story. I've heard this from Russo from everybody for years. Terry Taylor. Yeah. Back in the day, they told me about this. That's all it was. They weren't trying to push. Jim Ross was going around saying, "Oh, Dr. Dead's going to kill all these guys. He's going to, he'll probably get a run with Austin after this and everything." But it was never like they said, "We're doing this because the angle. This is what we're going to come out of it." Because when Bart Gunn won it, he was doing nothing before the angle, before the fight started. And they had nothing. They even couldn't figure out anything after he finished it. No, that was their fault. But it was never designed to get anybody over. Other than the guy would win. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 fights, 20. He'd win $95,000. That's it. You know?
I'll go a little bit more in depth, and if you want to finish it off, Joe, you can. But just kind of like what I said last week when we went over it. Basically, everybody says it was a terrible idea because so many people got hurt and it was the worst idea ever. Well, number one, I thought it was a great idea because when I first heard it, I was very intrigued. Okay. Number two, if those guys wouldn't have gotten hurt, you know, as many guys that got hurt did get hurt, this would have been the greatest idea ever. Okay. Number three, I do think they wanted Steve Williams to win because if you remember, they moved some guy out of the semifinal match, so he'd have to face Steve Williams. Okay.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Didn't they say that? Yeah,
and they started Steve Williams off in the first round against Carl Ouellette. He's blind. He's blind in one eye.
So. But I'll tell you this.
No. But remember that there was supposed to be. They even said it in the Dark Side of the Ring. I'm not making it up. That Bart Gunn was supposed to face somebody else.
Yeah.
And they stuck Steve Williams in there, and he was like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna get heat."
Yeah.
And he even said, "Will I get heat if I knock this guy out?" And they were like, "No, you won't get any heat," because they didn't think he was gonna knock him out.
Yeah. They changed the brackets so that Dr. Death and Bart fought.
Right.
Bart had gone to a decision with Bob Holly the week before, so maybe they didn't think he could take him.
So the other thing. Let me finish. So the other thing was, I thought that I felt really bad for Bart Gunn, really, really bad for him. I can't believe that, and I'll give credit to Russo. He took credit. He was like, "Hey, man, my bad. I should have had something for you. I can't believe you're going to have a tournament with the toughest guys in the company and that the guy who won, you had no plans for him." That I find hard to believe. And number two, I kind of thought Russo came off bad when he said that, he just signed it spiteful because he did this just to prove a point to Layfield.
Yeah, but then
even 20 years later, he was still looking at it kind of happy about it.
Right.
What did he prove, though? Let me just ask you that, because in the end, Bradshaw still got to the finals and won a bunch of fights. They didn't prove anything. He still made it to the finals, right? It's not like
it was a period of time, and this is before, I believe, the Attitude Era really. I mean, it was in the middle of it, but they would end up doing stuff with some of the other guys. It's just, bro, people don't understand. At the time, those guys were all mid-card guys.
I don't care about the other guys because the top guy that won, they should have done something with him. And here's the part I'll never understand. Why the fuck they put him in there with Butterbean? Okay, I'll never understand that.
Yeah, that was Vince McMahon's idea. That
was stupid.
Yeah, that's what Butterbean said. But here's the other thing.
They actually told him they wanted him to train for it.
Yeah, and they changed his fighting style.
But the thing was, at the time, I do remember this. He was like hot as a tough guy.
Yeah.
It was like, wow. I remember fans and like even the boys like, well, when he was supposed to fight Butterbean, it's like, I wonder if he can beat Butterbean.
Here's the thing,
if he beats Butterbean, maybe he can go like, right.
But a tough guy and a boxer are two different things. Just like a tough guy and a UFC fighter, you put a tough guy with a UFC fighter, and he's going to beat his ass. You know what I'm saying?
And here's the other thing. In hindsight,
what if you take a Brooklyn Tushy kick and put him in that?
Well, you can't put that against anything. That's almost. I put that on the same. Like, do not ever do this as the back rake.
What if they had a thing where like Josh Barnett's Bloodsport?
Yeah,
and like they had all the guys like this guy's jiu-jitsu, the Brooklyn Tushy kicker.
Well, I thought you were going over to Bloodsport to fight Nick Gage. I thought that was probably coming.
Did you see that? That was funny, bro. It's so funny. It's so funny to met the people on Twitter. It's hysterical. Did you see that?
No,
Konnan?
No.
This Nick Gage. I remember we talked about Nick Gage. He has a pretty funny pretty funny stuff. Like he's kind of like his character's like kind of a redneck, like a shooter. Like I'm looking for a fight. Some guy, I heard this way. He said, I heard this way to go, Jose guys looking for no way. Jose is like I heard he's looking for a fight. I'll fight him. You know me. I'll fight anybody. So I just tweeted that. I said, I'll fight you. I go, do you even know how to fight? I go, it doesn't look like many guys these days do. And so all of a sudden, everybody on Twitter, so he tweets me. He goes, 100%. I know you can't fight. So that I tweeted a spot where me and AJ are fighting in TNA in the crowd, and I beat the piss out of AJ. Yeah. I go, well, here's another kid that said I didn't know how to fight. Yeah. Whooped his ass pretty good.
What do you say?
He never responded that way. Well, but the funniest thing is you see the replies.
He's a super cool dude, though, bro.
Have you met him? No, I haven't. But I like his interviews. Like I've seen this stuff. They're funny. He's a good character.
Yeah.
No, he's a good guy too. He's a good guy too. Boom.
So it's funny because like I guess he wrestled in GCW, bro. You got to see their fans like responding, like like RIP Disco, like it's like it's a shoot. Like, I think he's really
and he's done a great job of making
promoting himself.
Like he's the real deal.
Like Cross used to do on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right.
Like just promote yourself and get over,
And it didn't hurt that the motherfucker robbed the bank or some shit.
Right. So like that shoot thing about him, yeah.
Did KG come out in defense of GCW or Nick Gage in that thread at all?
No.
Well, let me just say to wrap up the Brawl for All thing, because I wanted to say this thought about it. Yeah. You guys know that there's no way Austin was going to wrestle Steve Williams and take those suplexes with his surgically repaired neck.
No way.
So they keep saying it would have been Austin Williams, and I can't see that as possible. While Austin and Bart
you do got to think one thing. You've probably got to think that they would have probably told Steve Williams, hey, no suplexes, and you've got to think Steve Austin respected Steve Williams. You know what I'm saying? And probably wanted to do a program with him because Steve Williams, before being knocked out, had a good reputation, good worker, tough guy. Yeah.
But I was going to say, if they wanted to do it, Bart versus Austin, they could have done at least at one pay-per-view because Austin's brawling style at that time, fighting guys through the crowd, like that kind of shit was what he did. Bart could have easily done that with him. Put him with McMahon, make him McMahon's hitman or something.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm just surprised because Vince was great at Russo was great at like having something for everybody. That's one of the hallmarks that I was always very impressed with him about. Because I'm the same way. I think everybody matters.
Yeah.
Where when I got to AAA, they were like, nah, just the top guys matter. And I'm like, really? So what happens when they get hurt or they leave or they retire? What are we supposed to do? You've got to make people. So that was I just thought for somebody that was so attention to him and Ferrara, who still has heat and is he on the disco list or did we take him out?
His gout.
Took him out,
he
took him out for inactivity.
Him and Eddie Teddy Bear Ferrara, they were very good at having something for everybody. Even you saw that in WCW.
Well, it's just like you guys always say that someone's got heat. So someone didn't want Bart to be on TV or get a push or whatever it was. Probably.
Any other letters?
That's it. That's it for the mailbag.
Okay, that's been the mailbag. Enjoy the rest of the show. Boom.